I'm Speed MTG.
Hey again, this video took a lot of editing and I don't know what sleep is anymore. But yeah, this is all the multicolored and colorless cards in Ikoria, which is why it's so long. But hey, this is the Speedy Ikoria limited set review, so that's draft and sealed and only brief thoughts and jokes on cards and a rating. And more on that rating in the description. Anyways, let's go multicolor snap tags. Apex of the Hunt. 4 mana, double striking, 3/5, you can mutate for 5 and deal 4 damage and gain 4. Well, if you can cast it, which that's an important step, then it does a lot, 90. Aluna Apex of Wishes, 6/6 Flample that when it mutates, you exile from the top of your library until you exile a non-land permanent and you play it for free. Okay, I got this. The only non-land permanent you play is Omniscience. So you make a creature with a creature land so that you can mutate it with a Luna to get Omniscience. Then you cast Draw 7s until you get Mind's Desire. You cast Mind's Desire until you can cast your whole entire deck, including Nexus of Fate, to take infinite turns. Oh yeah, that's EDH. I should probably do a deck tech on that. 95. Nethroi, Apex of Death. A good undercosted lifelink death touch body that you can mutate to bring a bunch of stuff back. Absurd whether you mutate or not. 97. Vadrox, Apex of Thunder. A Mantis Rider impersonating body that you can mutate to cast a spell for free. If you got a lot of good spells, then it's good, but if you don't, I wouldn't play it. 84. Brokos, Apex of Forever. 5 mana big boy that you can mutate from your grave, not flashy, but good meat for the cost. 88. General Kudo. Human Lord that you can exile stuff from the grave and kill big boys. If you're humans, here you go. 80. Rael the Everwise. Gets bigger the more spells you got, and if you have a lot of discard effects, you can abuse her pretty well, but you gotta make sure you have those, and if you do, she's playable. 80. Keenan Bonder Prodigy. Stats of a bear with a lot of upside. 78. Winota Joiner of Forces. 4 mana, 4/4 with a non-human attack trigger to get humans from your deck. At worst, it's fine, but if you got a good ratio of humans to non-humans, it's pretty absurd. 85.
That's not a knife, that's a knife.
Chevill, Bane of Monsters. A hardish to cast 1/3 with Death Touch and minimal upside. 77. Narset of the Ancient Way. Tick up to get some life and some mana, a neg to loot and kill a thing, and an ult that wins the game eventually. If you can cast a decent amount of non-creature spells, then it's pretty good or fine, but you want to mostly neg it probably. 87. Fiend Artisan. A nightmarish looking 2-drop that kind of reminds me of Birthing Pod and Goyf, which those are two pretty good cards. 90. Now to the rares. Ruinous Ultimatum. Okay, now time for Ultimatum talk. So I'm gonna go through all of them now just to be more efficient. So they're all really crazy but insanely hard to cast. So to play any of them, you have to meet almost a weird combination of requirements of a good mana base, preferably ramp, and a way to get to the long game, like kill spells and such. If that lines up, then sure, go crazy. They're about an 80. Offspring Revenge is Garbo, but hey, cute cat art, 10. Song of Creation. Lotus, Seething Song, Poetic Ritual, Lotus Petal, Recall, Rite of Flame, Desperate Ritual, Dragon Storm! Oh, sorry, I was dreaming. 50. Death's Oasis. So, Scrap Trawler, but combined with some sacrifice thing, meh, 70. Titan's Nest. So you give Delve to your junk, there are some funny piles you can probably throw together with this, but it's probably not worth it. 10. Whirlwind of Thought. Ah yes, mini Song of Creation. It might look like a do-nothing enchantment, but I feel like this is just going to be good in Jeskai spell decks. 85. Skycat Sovereign. Gets bigger if you got flyers and can make them. Yeah, it's good and insane in a flyer deck. 90. Slitherwisp. 3 mana, 3/2 flash that gives advantage with more flashers. Kinda hard to cast, but if you aren't the flash deck, you shouldn't play it. 85. Labyrinth Raptor. A dude that has menace and likes menace, cause it makes menace better and it's good with menace. Who would have guessed? 81. Quartz Wood Crasher. Huge trampler that makes more huge tramplers. Yeah, it's a bomb. 94. Frondland Philidar. 4 mana 3/5 that turns your vigilant creatures into tappers, which is really good, but you probably have to have more vigilant creatures for it to be, like, insane. 83. Luris of the broken in every other format, because Companion is broken in every other format. But hey, you probably won't want to do the Companion thing in Limited, with most of the Companions including Luris, but hey, Luris is still good in your deck. 87. Also, if I don't say anything about a card's Companion ability, just assume that you probably shouldn't do the Companion with it. Lutri the Spell Chaser. 3 mana 3/2 flash that can copy a spell. Fine. Also this time the Companion ability doesn't seem that hard to activate. 82. Umeri the Collector. Will make your creatures cost 1 less and decent body. 81. Zerda the Dawnwalker. Is basically just a 3 mana 3/3 that can make something not block. 78. Karuga the Micro Sage. 5/4 that can draw some cards, which is fine. 84. Yorion Sky Nomad. 4/5 flyer that can flicker your stuff. Yeah, the body with flying is pretty good. 88. Garuda, Doom of Standard. I mean the depths. 6/6 that does a mill then reanimation thing for an even creature. Yeah, that's just good. It's not insane like it is in Standard where you just put a bunch of shapeshifters in your deck, but yeah, still pretty good. 94. Obosh the Prey Piercer. 5 mana creepy dude that damage doubles like half your stuff. 82. Gigantha the Wellspring. 5/5 with minimal upside, but you might be able to companion it without too much of a hassle. 83. Kara the Orphan Guard. A lord for a bunch of stuff, and yeah, if you have a decent amount of things that are in your deck that it can buff, then yeah, it's pretty good. 88. Crystalline Giant. This guy plays Gotta Catch 'em All, but with keywords. Good but slow. 83. The Ozlith. It gets counters from your stuff and puts them on other things. If you have a lot of counter cards, then maybe, but still meh. 70. The Triumph Lands. Yeah, they're fetchable. Oh wait, that doesn't matter in Limited. They can fix your mana, which is fine. 77. Bonder's Enclave. Land that can draw you cards if you got big creatures. So yeah, if you have big creatures, then probably put it in your deck. 79. Now to the uncommons. Necropanther. 3/3 you can mutate to bring a thing back, which is good value, and the body's fine. 80. Lord Dracus. A 2/3 that can bring back spells. Every part of me will think this thing has flying, but it doesn't. But it's good in spell decks. 82. Boneyard Lurker. 4/4 dude that you can mutate to get stuff back. Yeah, it's your typical good Golgari uncommon. 82. Regal Leosaur. Het Dinosaur Cat. 86. Trumpeting Gnar. When you mutate, you make a 3/3. Wow, now I understand why blue-green mutate is so good. 88. General's Enforcer. A hardish to cast 2/3 with an expensive creature making ability. 76. Sprite Dragon. When you cast a spell, it gets bigger, so in spell decks, that's pretty great. 80. Skull Prophet. I study bones because that's where truth dwells. Bones, 2005, 83. Savi Thundermane. When you cycle, you get to cast a small lightning helix, so yeah, go with Cyclone. 80. Parcel Beast. Can tap to give you advantage, and you can mutate it also. Yeah, card advantage is great. 83. Back for more. 6 mana for reanimate and fight. That's great. 83. Channeled Force. Discard cards to deal damage and draw more cards. Well, an effect that makes you discard cards for it to be good at all isn't that great. 75. Dire Tactics. Oh yeah, okay, so it's 2 mana removal, baby! 89. Primal Empathy. An enchantment that either is a Howling Mine or grows your creatures? That's ridiculous. 87. Zenith Flare. It deals damage equal to the number of cyclers in your yard. So if you're a heavy cycling deck, then yeah, that's pretty great. But if not, it's horrible. 80. Jubilant Skybonder. 3 mana 2/2 flyer that makes it harder for your flyers to get targeted. That's good stats and pretty great in a flyer deck. 80. Cunning Nightbonder. 2/2 flash that reduces your flash stuff. A 2/2 flash is okay. 77. Sonorous Howlbonder. Triple menace, and yeah, that's great, especially in aggro decks. 87. Proud Willbonder. Don't mess with me or my son again. Ah! Trample dude that can help your tramplers get through. Yeah, good body and real good with other tramplers. 84. Alert Heedwander. 2/4 vigilance that gains some life, and a 2/4 body is fine. 77. The Crystals. They tap for mana or cycle.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Season 1, Episode 47. Crystal of Nightmares. The Rangers go to the mountains to study for a test when Goldar shows up with the crystals.
76. Now to the commons. Adaptive Shimmer. 5 mana 3/3 flash. It doesn't seem that bad, but also kind of mediocre. 75. Farfinder. Vigilant 1/1 that gets a land when it enters. In a format with mutate and need of fixing, you're gonna see just how good of a fox this is.
That ain't Falco. That ain't Falco. Oh, 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 Where you at?
80. Mysterious Egg. 1-drop O2 that when you mutate on it, it gets a counter. I could see playing it if you are basically like insanely dedicated to mutate, but if you aren't, you probably shouldn't play it. 76. Sleeper Dart. Draw a card and make something not untapped. Meh, pretty mediocre. 75. Spring Draw Trap. 5 mana to deal 3 damage is honestly not too horrible. 75. The dual colored lands. They help you fix your mana, and that's pretty good in this format. 77. Evolving Wilds. Ah, so how many times has this been reprinted again? 79. That's the end! Oh my god! Thanks for sticking around, everyone, for that freaking long as heck video. But hey, tell me what you liked and didn't like. Please. See ya!